welcome to the Circles and Spaces podcast. My name's Molly, I'm your host. I'm joined here by the fantastic Emma and Ellen.
Hello.
Co-hosting today, joyful. Thanks so much for coming over. You're here from Sweden.
Sweden, yes.
Amazing. The land of fika.
Yes.
The land
IKEA.
of Sweden.
ABBA. In the land of Sweden.
ABBA.
ABBA, the land of IKEA.
Spotify.
Spotify.
Wow.
Spotify.
IKEA.
Yes.
Wow, I've learnt so much already. Crikey. Amazing.
The Viking,
yeah, love
The
that
Vikings,
so much. Yeah, great. But anyway, welcome. Hello.
Thank you so much.
I'd love to hear a tiny bit about you. Introduce yourselves to the audience online. But I'm hosting as well today with the wonderful Emma. So maybe we'll start with you, Emma.
Sure. I am the Alpha youth leader in Sweden.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what I do. I have 2 small children.
Amazing.
So, and I've been working with young people sharing faith since I was a teenager myself.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I've been doing my adult life.
Yeah.
I love seeing young people finding Christ and seeing their potential in sharing their faith. So that's basically my passion. And that's me.
Brilliant.
In a short version.
It's a very good short version.
Yeah.
How about you, Ellen?
Yeah, I'm Ellen and I'm 29 years old. I work as a youth pastor in the southern part of Sweden in a quite traditional Pentecostal church, but we see like a kind of a small revival is stirring up. Yeah. So it's really amazing. I love it. I recently started doing CrossFit, as we bound over earlier.
Nice.
Come on. And I do love fika.
Very good.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of who I am. I've been a leader in church since I was maybe 18, yeah.
Wow.
And I've always loved it. And I've always loved to creating a space for young people to, feel comfortable and to feel like, okay, I can come to church and I'll be proud to bring my friend to church.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, that's me.
I love that. I'm going to kick straight off because both of you mentioned being leaders from quite a young age. I think you were saying you're 18 and 18 maybe, of sort of coming into leadership. What sort of sparked that? Or was it just love for the Lord?
I think for me, it wasn't something I planned. I was terrified of being a leader and I was terrified about having responsibility. And I don't know, I think God in my life, he often puts me in a place and I think I'm going to do one thing. And then after a while I see that, okay, he had a different plan. He was actually going to challenge me to do this and this and this. So my encounter with leadership was in school where I started a Christian youth group in my school to share faith in school. And no one wanted to be the leader. And I was like, okay, so I'll just be the one sending out messages that we will have our gatherings this and this day and time. And that sort of just grew and became actually me and my friends evangelizing in school. Wow. And after a while, I realized that, okay, this is actually being some kind of a leader. So even if it was very scary, I just, that was like the start of my leadership path. And amazing. I took one step at a time. And then I ended up in a practical Bible school. And they said to us that we were going to have preaching lessons. We were going to be taught how to preach. And I thought that I will have to leave because I don't, this is out of my comfort zone. So I was awake one night and I planned how to run away from this Bible school. I was like, okay, I could take this bus and no one will know I left and I could just disappear. But I stayed and I challenged myself and I actually understood that this is how God works. He's putting us sometimes in challenging positions and when we dare to take a step, he will help us and we will learn things about ourselves and about him. So that was my start of the leadership journey.
Plan to run away. That's brilliant. Wow, look at you now. Yeah, amazing. How about you, Ellen?
Yeah, for me, when I was 13, 14, I was a part of the youth group in my church. But I felt like, I was one of those who really, I didn't feel comfortable in church. I felt like, okay, it's a good thing to go to church and it's good to be a part of it, but I don't feel comfortable here. I don't like it really. So then I disappeared for maybe 3 years. I wasn't. I still had my faith, but I wasn't in church. And then when I had this time away, it felt like God was talking to me about, okay, Ellen, if you don't like it, and will you just sit and have opinions about it, or will you do something about it?
Yeah, wow.
And I think I was 18 or something at the time, 17, 18, yeah. And then I felt this calling to, to just come back to my church and to serve and to help with the youth ministry and to be a part of the worship team and to not be don't just have opinions, but actually be a part and do something about it.
Yeah, great.
And just serve, really. So I started with that. Like that was like God calling me back to serve and to do something about all the opinions I had. Like it was like God like told me, okay, if you have these opinions, if you have these thoughts, maybe you should do something. Like you have maybe you have the solution because you have all these opinions. So yeah, that was pretty much it. And then from that age, it continued, and I started work as a youth leader in a small church, like 2 hours away. So it's like started off in my own church, but then it has, grown from there. Yeah,
I love that. I love that. Because you mentioned sort of being uncomfortable in church, as now a youth leader within the church, what do you put into practice to make youth feel comfortable? Is there sort of like things that you put in place for it, or?
Yeah, I think for me it was the thing that I wasn't feeling comfortable was that it felt like the leaders was only doing things that they liked.
Yeah,
they were never asking us what do you want to do. And I think it's really important as a leader, and I have to remind myself still that leaders, we can be like in the front and create a space for youth to feel comfortable, but we also have to ask, what do you want to do? What do you think is fun? Or what do you want to do when we gather, like for the community? But then I think youth maybe they need leaders for like the theological stuff. There they have that we can help, grow together. So I think I try to like have a ear to hear.
Yeah, great.
What do you like? Do you think this is fun? Should we do something else, or should we do something to just, get some more involvement from the youth? So yeah.
Also, I think because I've seen Ellen in action, and I feel one of your strengths is that you can be uncomfortable for someone else. Like you can walk up to someone. If you see someone is uncomfortable in the room, you just walk straight to that person and be like, hello, who are you? What's your name? What you like? And you don't think about, am I being weird? Am I being embarrassing? Or that's how I see you. Is that, how do you feel about it? Does it come natural to you, or is it just something that you do?
I think it's important for me that I want to create a space where people feel welcome and where they feel home. And especially in church, because we use this like words that welcome home. And if we do that, people should feel at home when they come to us. And and sometimes you see like especially teenagers or maybe adults as well, like on a Sunday service where people just stand and feel really uncomfortable. And for me, it's important. I love to speak with people, so I love people. So for me, it's kind of easy, but sometimes of course it can be challenging. But I think maybe I don't think so much about it. But I think it comes quite naturally. Maybe, yeah.
That's beautiful. It's so beautiful when he births like gifts out of places where we've struggled, that then he gives us like the authority to speak into those areas and make people feel comfortable. Like that's such a gift to have people leading those spaces and hosting those spaces for younger people when it's been a place or a pain point for them.
Yeah.
So I want to honour you with that and celebrate you with that. I think that's amazing. I guess I have a question for both of you, which coming from like Sweden, what are you seeing happening at the moment? Speaking for the country, speaking for your sort of like context, what are you seeing as sort of like the joys and like the spiritual obstacles, I guess?
I think many people, both believers and non-believers, are aching for the younger generation in our country. we had, when we were recording this just 2 weeks ago, we had a shooting in Sweden in my hometown, and 3 victims, all the age 15 to 20, and the suspect shooter also between 15 and 20. And so many people are aching for young people and sort of want them to find another type of life.
Yeah.
So, and we see that in church as well, that many young people are longing for something else, or longing for a purpose, and we hear many countries talking about that. Actually, the news picking up statistics about young people searching for God, or being more interested in the Christian faith. And we had that in Sweden before Christmas. We had, it's called an organization called the Youth Barometer, that they do every year. They ask thousands of teenagers to predict what will be the big trends in Sweden next year. And one of the top things for 2025 was Jesus. And it was not, and I was a bit surprised, because we hear pretty often that young people are interested in faith or spirituality or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in this case, it was specifically
so
Jesus.
cool. Yeah.
And so we had on, headlines and news like Jesus is the big influencer in
Jesus is
Sweden.
the trend.
Jesus is the trend.
Jesus is the new trend.
He is the trend.
Yeah.
So I think that actually shook the Christian people in Sweden.
Yeah,
Like,
wow.
okay, so this is an opportunity that we have. So we have, on one hand, all these shootings and really dark stuff happening in the younger generation, but then also a lot of hope for them.
Yeah.
And I feel that many, let me know if you agree, but like many Swedish leaders wanting to take new steps for the younger generation now, and see this as a big opportunity, and sort of getting ready to reach the younger generation. So it's hopeful and challenging at the same time.
Yes.
Love
what do you say?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like a movement, like in the whole part of Sweden. But since when we're here at the conference, I hear the same thing is taking place here in UK. So I mean, I think it's like a trend we see like globally.
Yeah.
That is like a revival taking place.
Yeah.
But in Sweden, it's really cool since it's such a secular country, and it has been like, you don't, like, just when I was in high school, we didn't talk about faith, and that's even, it's like okay, 10 12 years ago maybe. So I mean, it has been a big change for like a pretty short time.
Yeah. Wow.
And I think in my hometown, which is pretty small, but there we also see this, that the church, when they heard about this, even though we see it, but like in a smaller way maybe, because it's like a smaller city, but we see among the youth that they are longing for something else. And it's in our city has been like also been troubling with a lot of shootings and like gangs and stuff. Youth who comes into become criminals and starting with drugs really early. And to see that some of them, recently we had one of those who came and he was like, okay, I just met Jesus home in my room. They were like, when it seems to like everything is dark, they try to give up, and then they meet Jesus. And we have started this group now with these teenagers who are like in the risk zone for getting into gangs and to criminality. And it's so powerful to see what God is doing with these people, and that they sense a kind of hope, and to see that the church is actually caring for me.
Yeah, very good.
I think that's also a shift that is coming to Sweden now, that the churches, we cannot just only be for ourselves anymore.
Yeah.
We have to care for the society. We have to do it different in our society, and that will look different, like in every society, like in every city, because we are different. But I think that's what I see in my hometown, is that we are reaching out and try to make a difference. And when we do that, we also see that people come to Christ, people come to church, people come to Alpha, and they meet Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Yeah,
I
that's
also
amazing.
think that it does something with the unity between churches. I think
Yes.
many leaders, many churches say that they, start collaborating around certain projects in different cities. And I think it's so, we talked about it yesterday, that when we actually lift our heads and look outwards and focus on sharing faith and reaching new people, we forget about differences and forget about maybe what we don't agree on theologically, stuff like that. So I think it's also encouraging to see people connecting in a new way and feeling that we have more in common than we don't. So so I think it's very helpful. And I think for the younger generation especially, they don't care about differences as much as older generations. So I think it's also preaching the gospel just by connecting with other churches in a way.
I love that. Gosh, there's something so powerful in like the unified body, like you said. Like it's one goal. It's not a case of church pride of one church doing it better than the other. I think it's that coming together and uniting for one cause, which is to make him known. So to hear stories of that and celebrate it personally, I'm like, this is so exciting. I do feel like we are on the brink of something. And I guess sort of a question from that is like, what are the first steps of sort of seeing unity amongst churches? Like what?
Well, I think if I think about when I was a teenager, which is many years ago.
we don't have to go there. We're not going to aim and name and claim.
But it was sort of very important if you were a Pentecostal kid, or if you went to this church, and like if you were a Catholic in a Protestant country like Sweden, you were basically not a Christian. And it was so focused on what we didn't agree on, and a very much competition, like who had the bigger youth group, who had the bigger this and this. And I think now that people are just tired of competition, and that we feel that we can't afford focusing on that, because people are not getting saved. And so many, like we had this report a couple of years ago, a denomination in Sweden said that if we don't shift the trend, we are going to be extinct in like 20 years, this specific denomination. And it was sort of a wake-up call for them that we need to do big changes, and we need to do it now. And I think that is true for many churches and leaders in Sweden, that we're sort of being, we don't want to lose the next generation. We don't want to lose, being a Christian country. So I think it's just some kind of urgency or a longing to see something new that has brought us to. Now I forgot the question, but
no, it's good. I'm loving it.
It sort of brings us together and creates unity. And
and I think people like longing for Jesus. That's the thing. They want to have a relationship with Jesus. And young people especially, they're longing to feel that authenticity and to feel that it's like real, and they want to get to know Jesus. So, and I think they will sense where they can do that, and where they see like people who know Jesus and they walk the talk, and they they follow him, and it's you can see the fruits of it in their lives. So I think is also like something really, really important, something important as well.
Yeah, it's really good.
But how do you think that we can be better at showing authenticity? Like how do we do that in a practical way? Like do you have any specific thoughts on this is what I do to make Jesus feel real and not like a fake thing?
Okay, I think it's important for me to have integrity, to be the same person wherever I am, and to be like authentic in that kind of way that I can have a bad day sometimes, and that I can feel tired, I can be sad, and I can feel the feelings I do, but still have my faith and still love Jesus. And I think for me it's important to to have like to talk about like stuff that matters with my friends, with my youth, to talk about faith, to talk about and also to meet people's needs. Like not being so selfish, just talk about me, like, oh, how's your day been? Can you tell me about your school? Can you tell me about your friends in school? And I think if you follow Jesus, I think you will, that will come more naturally to you. But I think sometimes we make it too hard for ourselves. I think people, they will sense it when you meet a person. For me as well, I kind of sense when someone is walking with God.
Yeah.
You know, you can feel it, how they talk to you, how they look at you, how they treat you over time. And I think that is really important when you meet people. So I think they will sense that. And if they meet you, for me, like as a youth pastor, if they meet me on a camp or on a Tuesday in church, it should be the same.
Yeah, very
Ellen.
good. Yeah.
Because then I think, okay, she's the same. Yeah. So I think that is important.
Yeah. So good.
Love that. I think consistency is so key into any form of relationship. Like God's so consistent with us. He's not a God of inconsistency or confusion. And so when we operate out of just consistency as leaders and loving in a sacrificial way, it shows just the Father's love in the heart. And we get that wrong sometimes. Don't get me wrong. We're human. We have bad days, good days.
Yeah.
But I think modeling that is beautiful. Love that so much. Final few sort of questions. We've sort of on the podcast, we love to talk about sort of like authentic failures, successes, obviously all the things that we're seeing that are good. But I wonder if there's anything that you could like reflect on. And we can go sort of a terrible failure or small failure, funny story that we've learnt from. But is there sort of a story that comes up that is something you're just like, oh, I've really learnt from that time to make me the youth leader that I am now?
Yeah. As I said earlier, when I graduated from high school, I started to work as a youth leader in a small church, like 2 hours away from home. So I was 19, and I was like, when I look back at that time, I like, how on earth did they like hire me for? I'm like, I had been like I've been like a part of the youth leader team in my church for like one year. And I was like, oh, okay, you can come to our church. You can be the youth leader. And I'm like, yes, sure, I can do that. Yes, God help me. But when I look back at that time, it was really, really fun. You know, it was my like first time like doing leadership alone and like to, you know, gather people, doing a team and all that stuff. But something I learned is that I was pretty young and some of the people that I led, like some of the youth, was in my age, and some of them were like just like myself, could be like just 2-3 years younger than me. And in that town, you know, it was not so much that happened during that time. So we hang out a lot, like almost every day we hang out, like in some particular way. And I'm an extrovert, so I loved it. I'm like, yeah, we can do stuff all the time. But what I learned from that time is that you have to create spaces like in your life as a leader to pause and reflect, to just do something, to, you know, take some time with God, to pause and to, you know, fill your spirit up again so you can be ready to give. And I think that maybe is, for some people, that's like, oh, yeah, duh, I do it all. I know that. But for me as an extrovert in that time, it was so fun. It was so fun to be a leader. It was so fun to meet the youth. But so that is something that I've learned from that time. And I actually, after that time, I had to pause from church, like from being a leader for maybe a year, because I was so tired.
Yeah.
And but now when I have come back, that's something that I'm really like important for. It's really important for me to have like some spaces where I just rest and be with myself. Good. And for some people it's like, yeah, of course, but you can say that it's important, but you have to do it. You have to live it, and you have to do it like every week. You have to plan your rest, because then I think you can also be more happy when you're working and when you're doing stuff in church. Yeah. So good. That's something I've learned.
I love that.
Amazing.
I love that. Amazing. think that's all we've got time for. I could carry on talking. I'm like, gosh, I wish we'd gone deeper for the fika as well.
Yeah.
Favorite fika? What, like favorite pastry? Final question.
Like I'm a cinnamon roll. so
Okay.
it's very basic, but
no,
it's the best one.
I'm all in. I'm all in.
Ooh. I'm like pies, like apple pie, like with vanilla sauce,
Oh yeah.
or rhubarbs can also be good. Rhubarbs pie.
Gosh. Okay, good. I'll take notes.
Welcome.
Gosh, yeah, exactly. We can talk
notes.
about the glory of God and we can talk about the glory of pastries. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's
Thank
been a
you
joy
for
to have
having us.
both of you. And
Thank you so much.
thank you for sharing your stories and your heart with youth. This has been Circles and Spaces. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. You can like, follow, subscribe along. Thanks for watching.